Yeah.
Okay.
Go ahead.
All right. So welcome to our training call today. I'm going to talk about something that I think is really, for me, has been almost mind-blowing shift in thinking that Elaine got to go to training in Vegas, and she heard from a lady who trained on the same topic, a little bit different, but very similar. And I took some time to just take this course. And as soon as I got into it, I thought, this is what so many people need. I mean, we all go out there, and I know if you're like me, you started these products or you heard about this opportunity and you were so excited about it that we go out there and we just start basically verbally vomiting on everybody, all of our information, all about the products, what's in them, how great they are. Or we say things about the business opportunity like, I love my business because it's changed my life, or I love this business and you'd be so good at it, or I think you'd be so good at it, or I love my products because they did this for me. So the bottom line is we talk about this opportunity and these products with me, like all about ourselves, all about what it's done for us, our story, which is awesome. Like that really is good. And I think in that we have a story, we're excited about it. But the shift is that when you talk to people and you want them to hear their message, I'm going to give you an example. If you are on Facebook or you're having a live conversation with your friend and she tells you, oh, I've been training for 6 months and I just ran my first marathon. Your first thought is, congratulations, that's awesome. You are thinking, oh, I should join you, start training for a marathon and do the same thing. You're really not, it's not about you. It's about her. She's telling you the story. It's her story, her awesome results, and you're happy for her, but you're really not engaged in her story. So the shift is that our message has to stop being all about us, and we need to be talking about them. We need to be taking the I out and putting the you in. So there's a really practical way to do that, but the main thought process here is that when you're talking to somebody, you have to always consider that they're sitting there thinking, okay, that's great. What does that have to do with me? Or what is in it for me? Why do I want to do this? Why do I want to be in your business? Why do I want to join you? And so it's all about how we say it. So I believe all of us are doing the right things. I believe we're going out, we're talking to people, we're excited about this, we're sharing it, but it's that we're not necessarily saying the right thing. Because I think that's such a stumbling block for people. They say, well, I'm talking to 6 people a day or 10 people a day. And sometimes it might not, be the right person always, but sometimes maybe we're not saying the same thing and the right thing. And I'm including myself in that. They're also thinking, what should I do? Like, okay, you just told me the story. Well, that's great. What should I do about that? So what the woman talked about, that people actually are sitting around all day long and they're tuned to one station. And the station that they're tuned to on their radio is, what's in it for me? How does this affect me? What do I need to do about it? And they're just listening for that all day. So when we tell them our story about our product, what we have to offer, I believe that many of us genuinely are there to help people, and that's a big shift here too, is that when you start to make it about them, you start to think about them in ways to solve their problems, because that's what we're doing. We are problem solvers. We have products and we have a business that solve problems. So when you start to have to think about, what does this person need? What does my product do for them? You start to stop thinking about them as someone you can get or sign up or enroll, and you start to think about, this is someone I can help. How can I help them? What is it they need? So when you start taking the you out, and I'll give you examples of the you would be, you'll love my product. The examples of you would be, you'll love my product because it can help you. I'm going to give some basics. We would not be this simple usually, but it can help you lose weight. Okay, we know that happens with our products. Or, I have a product that can help you gain energy. I have a product that can help you do this. Or my product can help you. So this is what I want you to start thinking about. What is it that our product can do? And then the sentence that you want to think of is, I have a product, or you don't have to say I have a product. You can say my product will do this, or IsaGenics can help you fill in the hole. Okay, this is the beginning of how you're going to talk. This is the first step. It's starting to think about my product can help you lose weight. My product can help you gain energy. So when you're talking to your friend and she says, oh my gosh, I'm tired all the time, and I don't have energy when I'm home from work because my kids are wanting to play, they're wanting to do all this stuff, and I have no energy. And your immediate answer isn't, oh my gosh, I have so much energy because I use these products. It's, oh, I have a product that can help you have more energy. So that's just the start to this conversation. That's step one, is to stop talking about ourselves and start using you instead of I. So fill in the blank. I have a product that can help you blank. And that's just a big, for me, that was kind of a big shift. Instead of, I love my product because it helped me do this, or I think you should look at this because I had great results. It's confidently saying, I have something that can help you, and fill in the blank to their need. So I'm going to go into that a lot deeper in a minute, but that's just the first step, is you're going to make this all about them. It's the same for the business. So when you're talking to the person and you want to say, oh, I love this business opportunity because I have had this awesome, income experience, or I love this business opportunity because it's helped me to do this. No, you're going to turn that around. And when you meet somebody that tells you they're sick of their job, they want to retire early, or they want to be home with their kids, you could say, I have a business that can help you earn money, earn full-time income on a per-time hours, and get you home with your kids. So you're going to look at that immediately and say, how can I turn this around and say, I have a business that can help you, specific to them. So I have a business that can help you retire early, or if they're a golfer, I can help you get to the golf course, a business that can help you get on the golf course more days than in your office. I can help you, I have a business that can help you, whatever it is that you can look at your business. There's a million examples that I could give you. Your business can help them spend more time with their kids, help them save on taxes, help them not worry that they're going to get laid off. It can help them, they can make money while they sleep. They could spend more free time doing what they want. So those are just some examples, but what I think that I'd encourage you to do with what I'm saying right there and with the product and the business is take that sentence, I have a product or business that can help you blank, that first step, and make a list of things that you think of that your product or your business can help people do. Gain more energy, lose weight. Those are the things that we can put under product. But business, the list is so long depending on the person. So start thinking about people and what do they need, and we'll get into that more, but just filling in that sentence with, I have a business opportunity that can help you blank. And what would you say there? One of the things that the woman that did this training that I am sharing with you talked about, and this was really big for me. The reason we need to talk like this is that you don't want to sell the destination. You don't want to sell the airplane, you want to sell the destination. So when you go on vacation and you book your trip, and have you ever asked what kind of airplane it was, how many seats it had, or how much fuel the airplane took, or whatever? No, you want to hear all about where it's taking you. You want to get there. So when we sit around and we talk to people about product details, company details, telling them about the ingredients, telling them all about, because we do have great products and we have amazing ingredients and amazing people that have put this all together, and a company that's amazing. But as a person on the outside, if you tell me, you walk up and you start telling me about the undenatured way and how great these products are, honestly, it just becomes white noise. no one hears that. But when you tell them what it does for them, what is the benefit for them, and I think that's the key word here, what are the benefits of the product or the business for that person? They will key into that, they'll hear that, and their brain starts to relate to what you're saying. Before, all they're hearing is stuff, stuff that they could hear anywhere about any product, and they're not going to key in. But when you start talking about them and start talking about benefits, I think that's when they start to hear you and start to hear what you want to say. And then that second thing that, that's kind of our first mistake, is talking about us. And then the second mistake is that when you are talking to people about, sorry, I had to find my place on my notes, is that people are emotionally driven. So you can take that idea that I just told you and say, I have a product that can help you lose weight. And then when you attach a feeling to that, you've just completed the circle. People are really emotionally driven. So you would say, I have a product that can help you lose weight and feel great, so that you can feel confident and good in your bikini this summer. Okay, that's just an example for product. Okay, so you just attached a feeling and a benefit to the benefit. So the first benefit is you can lose weight. And the benefit to that benefit is that you're going to look great and feel great this summer in your bathing suit. So that's just a product example. So your sentence that you would have there would be, I have a blank, whatever product, or I help whoever, you're helping. If you're talking about the business, you can change this to, I help working moms make, then your benefit is make full-time income on part-time hours. So, let's, change it. I don't know if you all downloaded the sheet that we're going to get to at the end. It's more just examples of how you can use this, and I'm going to get to that, but it has these fill in the blanks for you. I just wanted you to know, so it's there for you. But, I have a product that helps blank to blank. So it helps you, or whatever they are, so working moms, to make full-time income, part-time hours, so that, and here's where you're going to put in that feeling. So what is the feeling that working mom wants? That working mom wants, and I'd love for you to make your own list, but they want to not miss out on their kids' most important years. They want control of their own schedule so they can be there when their kids need them. They want, maybe they want to be their own boss. Maybe they want, there's probably a list of 10 to 20 things that you could think of that working mom you're talking to wants. So you're going to fill in the blank that way. I help, or I have a business that helps working moms to, be able to make great money, so that, and here's where you're going to interject that feeling, so that they can feel great about being home with their kids every day, or being in control of their schedule so they can be with their kids when they need to be. So you're going to change this to meet the needs of each person. On product, same thing, energy, that we have such an emotional product. I mean, adding emotion to this should be so easy. So you're going to say, I have a product that can help you gain more energy so that you will feel ready and available when your kids want to play. Okay, that's emotional. And so I think that for both of these, what I would encourage you to do is make a list of types of people. And that's what the example I gave you is, actually breaking down types of people and the types of things that you can talk to them about. Most of what examples I gave you are business, because product, honestly, is pretty easy. We have clear-cut, we have energy, we have, weight loss, we have healthy aging, we have these things that, depending on the person's needs, you're going to have that answer for them. All of this, though, really, really depends on you doing two things. One is remembering what's in it for them, not about you, not about your story, and then matching the message to who you're talking to. So this is where I think a big shift for some people is going to come into play. We can send blanket messages to everybody we know about these awesome products and our awesome experience, and kind of just tell them all about us. But instead of doing that, if you are connecting with people, whether you know them or you just met them, and you ask questions, you're listening to them, and you're really connecting. You're going to hear something in that connection. It's going to give you a clue what they need. What does this person that I'm talking to need? Is it a business opportunity that this person needs? And if so, how am I going to phrase this to answer their problem, to solve their problem? What is in it for them? And so when you match that message to the person, it's literally taking it from, surface connection to an emotional connection that person is really going to have a hard time not actually hearing you. Because I think that most of our problems sometimes is that people, it's not necessarily that they aren't interested, they don't hear us. They're not connecting to what we're saying. So by matching your message to that prospect, and basically I made a list here, so you can take this, I help blank to blank, and some of the examples that I gave you would be moms would be, I have a business that helps moms to stay at home and be able to make extra money and still have time with their kids. Okay, so that's just moms in general. You could use that however you want to. But if we took working moms, we could make a list of, let's just say, what are they struggling with? So let's make a list of what they struggle with. I made a list of they're missing their kids, office politics, can come into play and get to them. It's stressful, balancing work and home, the control of their hours, no time for themselves. So what are the benefits we offer for those things I just mentioned? Time with your family, time for yourself. You can be your own boss. You control your schedule, and you can make a difference. So I encourage you to take all the different types of people that you can think of, whether it's working moms or baby boomers or, they're all there. There's a bunch of examples, college students, wellness professionals. And I encourage you to make a list of their struggles. And then I make a list of what answers do we have for that. And then you use this, I have a business that helps this type of person to achieve that benefit, and then attach that so that they can emotional, finishing to that connection with those people. So make those lists for yourself, because I can hand you these examples, but different types of people, and everybody, the list is so long, I might come up with different things. And as you're listening to people, you're gonna learn things. You're gonna learn that they struggle with something maybe we never thought of. But we know we have a solution, especially with the business. I feel like our business solution is so broad and answers so many struggles that people never thought of. They've never thought of this as a solution to their problem. You are giving them brand new information if they can hear it, if they can hear you. So you have to put it in terms that they can hear where they're inserting themselves. That's not to say that you're never going to include your results or never going to talk about your story. This isn't an initial meeting with somebody. This is, I want you to hear about what I have to say. I want you listening to me, so I need it to be about you. When you get deeper into the conversation, there's going to be a place for information about the product, and there's going to be a place for information about your story. But this is just, let me get you to hear me. Let me get you to hear and connect with what I have for you. And so I think that that's, a big component. So I don't know if you've had a chance or if you can take the time to download these, what they're called. It says sample elevator speeches, which is kind of silly that's kind of an old fashioned term, but the idea that if you were in an elevator and you only had a few minutes, what would you say to this person? And so these are, that short, sweet kind of, it's that answer to, everybody says, what do you say when someone says, what do you do? This is the answer. I help, and if whoever you're talking to, if you're talking to a mom, you're going to say, I help moms. And you probably, at that point, all you might know is that they're a mom, and you could say, I help moms make great income so that they can stay home with their kids or spend their time doing what they want. You can generic this a little bit so that you may not know everything about that person, but this is giving you that answer. But what you have to do is you have to spend some time on this, and you have to think about people you know, think about types of people you know, and be ready with this. Write it down, practice it in your head, make yourself say it to people. Go out there and just say it, just practice it, because if you don't practice this, it's not going to come out, so fluid and easy, and it's going to sound rehearsed, and that's not at all what we want. We want you to have different answers for different people, because no one person is the same, and our solution isn't the same for every person, right? I mean, it could be a working mom that needs a totally different solution than another working mom. So you have to be ready to use this formula and this thought process, but in a thinking, smart way. So how can you adapt this to those people you're talking to? So that's, the concept that I wanted to share with you today about kind of the basics. I have two other things that are interrelated to this, but I'm going to stop here and just, while we're just talking about this specific thing, see if any of you have questions or thoughts, and know that I told you the form that's on there for you to download has those fill in the blank sentences, so it can help you with that a little bit. But does anybody have any questions about that or thoughts that you want to ask? Jill does. Jill's behind me.
Hi. So I think this would be a great, hi everybody. I couldn't log in. I think this would be a great idea once we download and write all our thoughts to share it back on the executive thread, so that everyone can see it, even the people that missed the call, and then they can go back and listen to this. But I think that would be a great way for us to share our different ideas.
I agree. Karen, can I add a few things from my training? It's so ironic that I went to that training with David Wood and all of these amazing leaders and personal development speakers, and back in Vegas a couple weeks ago, and I came back and Karen and I were talking, and what she just went through this training, personal development is something that we all take for ourselves. We decide, what we're going to add to, how much do we want to add to this business that we're doing. And Karen doing this was phenomenal. And I, first of all, greatly appreciate you sharing everything you're learning. One of the things I think is very interesting is that what she has learned here, and one of the speakers that I was trained by is Lisa Nichols, and it's all very similar. And we've just been collaborating on the information, and a couple of the things that stood out that was almost identical is that write this down, WIIFM. Write it down. I can see you. Write it down. What's in it for me? Not for you, but the person you're talking to. What's in it for me has to be in your head. It has to be what you're thinking about when you're talking to that person, because that is all they're thinking about. And that is the key point to what Karen has learned, what I was trained on, is that this isn't about us. It is not about our story. It's not about, it's got nothing to do with us. It's all about, as Karen said, how can we help them? How can we add substance to their journey of their life, whether it's health or wealth? What can we do to support them and get them to their next level? What is their why, and how can we help answer that, help them with their why? And one of the things that also in Karen's stuff that she pointed out to me, and I think is really, really important, and she may be getting to it, and I'm sorry if I'm going to jump on it, but is we all have our own stories, and we all have our own who we are, and we connect with people the way we connect with people like us, like-minded people, better than we might connect with the total stranger, better than we might connect, with someone we don't know anything about. So, you might want to gear your, and what Lisa Nichols calls it, a snap, your snap, as a result of what I do, I help moms have more time for their families and ultimately bring them home to spend, make money while they sleep so that they can participate in all of the school functions. That's a snap. That's something that I would say to somebody that I would relate to because I was a working mom. And so what that sheet is that Karen posted is such a great tool to use and gear that towards, it's easier to start with those people that are like-minded, but think about all the people you come in contact with, not necessarily going totally out of your comfort zone, but the people you come in contact with, the other moms of your kid's school or at the gym, geared for that working out dude that you see every day, you have something in common. So you can create that elevator speech and make it something that, as Lisa Nichols told us, practice it 1,000 times in front of the mirror or like this. And so that you have it and it's a snap and you can say it as soon as you see that person, you know exactly what you're going to say. I've got my workout guy snap. I've got my working mom snap. This is such a powerful training, and Karen, thank you for uploading that document and providing this to us because it is changing the way we all are going to think about how we share. People don't want to hear our story. If our story is relatable to them, then you share it. One other quick thing is that Lisa says that your initial meeting is like having tea with somebody, and it's like the saucer, and it's a quick, and you have that quick conversation. But the buffet is later, and that's when they come back and they want to know all the ingredients, the comp plan, that is later. That's not something you give to them unless they come to you asking, because that just, it's like too much information. You want to entice them in what they need.
Right.
Back to you.
And so to follow up on that, and that's exactly, I'm going to step off what she was saying, but that's exactly what that I was mentioning, that there's going to be a time where you're going to tell them all that you want to tell them, or not all, I hope not all, but some, they're going to get the real meat of what they need, but this is an initial interaction, and that's super important what you said. But then also what she was talking about is the relatability of who you already have something in common with. This woman talked about narrowing your focus. Okay, so she talked about this example. So if you went to go fishing and you just said, I'm just going to go fishing, okay? All right, you will catch a fish. I mean, you're not very specific. But if you knew you wanted to go catch rainbow trout, you researched where is the best place to catch rainbow trout, and you got the right bait, what are your chances of catching rainbow trout? They just went up astronomically. So what she means by that is this. If you want to pick a focus, if you narrow the focus to, you can pick anybody, but probably somebody that you already have a lot of connections with, whether it's moms or professionals or teachers or whoever it is that you want to start with that. Your message should primarily be to them. Meaning, on Facebook, when you post, start posting pretty much all your direction in that way. Does that mean you don't talk to other people? No. When you come into contact with all people, you have something prepared for them. But when you're sending out your message, you are targeting the group that you already have the most, whether you've chosen it or you have it, the connection. You start building towards that market because you've already got them figured out. You know their struggles, you know their needs. You're gonna literally fish in the right place. You're gonna start looking for connections with those people. If it's working moms, you're already there. If you're a working mom, so you're in the right pond, and then you start to know what they need, and that's the right bait. So that concept is really, I think, huge, and I'm glad you segued, because that was kind of narrowing the focus. After you've learned this, is sort of the mature step that you need to take with this is to take this and use it to develop your market, but use this in all your communication with all types of people, but it could help you to be more specific in your everyday reaching out. Then what I wanted to talk about next is related, but not exactly related, and it's about posting on Facebook. And we all can tend to do the same thing on Facebook as we do in person. We're so excited that we post about all the wonderful ingredients, and then we post about our story, and then we post about today we did this, and we're basically telling our story over and over and over online. And to the point where people are like, that is so great that you have such a good life. I'm so glad you're liking that. And they don't even know what to do with it, because they're kind of like, oh, great, Karen is really happy and healthy, and then they don't know what that means. Some people, just by nature personality, might be like, oh, I want some of that. But a lot of people don't even know what to do with it. I'm going to confess that I just told this story to Elaine. I actually reached out to someone recently, told my story. This is before I learned this. And do you know what they answered back to me? I'm expecting interest, and I got, congratulations. And I was like, what? What do you mean congratulations? They were basically like, good for you. So glad you're healthy and happy. Not what I was looking for. So this is that shift of, you don't want them to be happy for you. You want to be happy for you, but you want to help them. So on Facebook, she gave another sort of ideal way, not always post. Of course, on Facebook, you're never just busting out there and talking about your business all the time, all over the place. Facebook is not meant for that, and people will really be annoyed if you did that. But something to intersperse when you do want to post, and you want people to take some sort of action, and you've probably heard this before, but is using the if-then language. And this language can be used not just on Facebook. It can be used in a meeting. It can be used with anyone you're talking to. But the idea is that, if you're looking to lose 10 pounds in the next 2 weeks, then message me and I'll share, how I can help you do that. So it's, if you're looking to get out of that 9-to-5 rat race, then, it takes, you give them the action step, whether it's message you, or you could even do watch this video and see how I can help you. It just, whatever action step you have for them. So if they're looking for, and there's a million things you could put out there, then take this action, because a lot of times we're very vague on purpose sometimes, but when you want a post to not be vague and you want it to be an action post, a power post where they're like, you're hoping people are going to get your message, this is just a really clear way to say, if you want that result, here's what you need to do. And you'd be surprised how many people are kind of looking for that blatant, here's what I need to do, and they're going to take you up on it. So that's really big. Another big thing, especially I think on Facebook, that relates to both these things is relatability, and especially with the business. Meaning, if I say to you, Elaine, you can make millions doing this, a lot of people, honestly, are like, right, this does not compute to them. They cannot relate to that. They can't imagine that. It means nothing to them. But if you were to say to them, you know what, how would an extra $500 help you this month? How would some money to help pay for your, little Johnny's karate lessons be this month? All of a sudden they're like, oh, well, that would be nice. I can imagine myself making money to pay for Johnny's karate. I can imagine myself making $500. So when you make things in reachable, obtainable, relatable increments, we know that this is way beyond that, but they don't yet. They will, as they get into this, they'll see that. But when you're just talking to them, whether you're posting on Facebook or you're talking in person, using language or examples of, working towards a vacation. I mean, that's doable. So whatever you can see in that person, whether, again, because you've matched your message to the person, hopefully, in a conversation, hopefully you've asked some questions, you've built a rapport, and you might know something about the person. Maybe you'll find out their kid takes karate, or that they're, really wishing they could go on vacation, or they, whatever it is, always be listening so that you can match that message to that person, but keeping it relatable. And I think that's really big, because how many people, even Jessica, if you read her little write-up when she was announced as a millionaire, said she went to her husband and said, I'm going to make millions. And he said, oh, you're going to make millions selling protein shakes, Jess? That's ridiculous. So she did. But at the time, that did not seem, relatable. That seemed ridiculous. And so a lot of people quit because they can't relate to this out there goal. But if they can have little goals to reach parliament or whatever it is, you are setting them up for success. They understand and they relate to that. So that's, another big piece of this is, again, it's all about matching your message to them, what is in it for them. And that's all about, again, the if-then message on Facebook. It's about them. What do they need to do? Relating your message to what they're looking for, as far as what do you think is a goal they'd be looking for that you could help them see is reachable. So that's kind of the overall basics that I wanted to cover today, because there's a whole lot more of this. But I wanted to open your mind to the concept of it, and I want you to realize that this is not just about person-to-person meetings. It also is about if you want someone to come to your overview, they need to see the benefits of coming. What is the benefit of somebody showing up at your overview? They're not just, maybe your best friend shows up out of the goodness of her heart because she likes you, but most people, honestly, to get them out of their house, to get them to come listen to something or attend an event, you need to use the same language that coming to this event will benefit you, because you will learn, maybe it's how to feed your family better. Maybe it's how you could get, a business opportunity. You learn about options to get out of your current job. So however you want to sell people or make them see the benefits, it could be about coming to a coffee with you. It could be about anything. This is not just limited to, I have a product or I have a business. This is, I want you to see the benefits of how this is about you, what I can do to help you. And I think that if we all start thinking this way, and we start thinking about solving problems instead of selling products, and we are all going to see this shift in, I just believe that that's what people are looking for. And it's like a full circle thing. If we are not about us and we're about them, people feel that. They feel it a mile away. You've talked to people that you can tell they're all in it, for themselves. And you don't want anything to do with that. And so genuinely, when you start to practice this, it starts to become your heart. And your heart, people feel that. People know that you're sincere. And if you're looking for ways to help people, this is going to help you help them to know that you really want to help them. So that's the basic concept that I wanted to cover today. So I know Elaine is going to kind of finish up with just some stuff that's going on and a little news.
So thank you. Again, this is so helpful. It definitely is a change in, we've been trained in the past about your 30-second story and how important that is. And this kind of takes that to a little bit different place, and, putting it in real perspective of who this is about. And so this is fantastic. And not saying to forget everything you might have learned, but this definitely will impact and hopefully change the way that you're communicating and connecting with people along the way, and hopefully make it a little bit easier for your businesses to grow and creating the network and relationships. So thank you, Karen. I wanted to just remind everybody that events change your business. They say that for every person that comes with you to an event can change your business 1,000-fold. So a whole bunch of us are on our way to Celebration in a few weeks, and we're super excited. We would love if we actually do have an extra room and maybe a ticket or two if anybody wants to join us. It's not too late. I haven't bought my plane ticket yet because I keep forgetting. I'm doing that today. But come to Celebration if you can. The next event is the CISABHealthE event in Atlanta in November? Crap, I don't know the date.
I don't know the date, but it's November.
It's November. So that's going to be a fantastic event. If you've been to a CISABHealthE event, if you haven't been to a CISABHealthE event, it's a powerful event. When you come to events, it changes. It gives you the power, the confidence, the belief. It fills you up with all of that. And it's not just about what the trainers are teaching you from the stage. It's the networking with all the people that are there. So, you may say, I've already heard from that person. I'm not going to sit through that. You might hear one little snippet from what they say, and you might have a conversation with a person next to you when you walk out, and it can create a huge impact in the way you're thinking and the way that you're communicating. So events change your life, whether you think you've heard from the people or not. CISABHealthE events are wonderful because it's all our team. It's what we're part of.
Also, Super Saturdays, throw that in there. Because it looks like we're going to do that more with Jessica and Todd and Delilah.
Yeah. So there's two Super Saturdays coming up. I think the first one that's coming up is actually now sold out. They're looking for a bigger space.
August.
There's another one October 1st that is not sold out.
August.
I meant August 1st. So those are also great events. And then the next one is NYKO, which is in January, and I hope everybody will join us there. NYKO is chock full of information. It's products, it's business, it's leadership, it's hugely powerful. It's the first event I went to. I will actually be posting something later today. I've been putting it off. I don't know why. I felt like it was weird, but I want to show you the power of going to events and how it changes your business. It's really amazing when you look at my compensation chart from each event that it jumps. There's big jumps in it. I think Renee posted hers on a thread a while ago or recently. And, it really is impactful to see that events will change your business. And again, it's not just about what you learn from the person standing on the stage. It is really about connecting and learning from all the people around you. Karen, what else was I saying? I don't remember.
I think that was it. Yeah, I just want, I personally, we've been talking about it a little lately, but and I didn't cover this, but I want to encourage you all that talk about doable and reachable is that as we're going into events and coming out of events, they're always going to have you setting goals, and there is a reason for that. And the company has set up these, manager, director, executive, because those are the tracks to run on. And if you want to be successful, take that next goal and just really start writing it down and thinking about how you'll get there. And each one of those is doable in time. You just take one at a time and you reach for the next level. That's how you get there. Some people say, oh, I'm just here. I don't know how I'll ever get there. These are the tracks. This is where you go next. This is where you go next. So take the time as we're going into events and as we're looking at the next few months and just say, okay, I don't know how I'm going to do it, but I'm going to be this or I'm going to be that. And then each day you're just working towards that goal. The goals are what gets you there. So I just wanted to mention that as we're learning this, even the shift in thinking, how to, people say all the time, I don't know how to do it. How to do it is that you work on yourself and you work on your message and you share with people and you look at that goal, put it on your desk, put it on your wall and just work it out. And all of a sudden it happens because you worked on it.
and you can't reach a goal until you set it. So, it's consultant, manager, director, executive, and then stars and whatever. But you have to know what those goals are. You have to know. If you are an associate today, write down that you want to be a consultant by a certain date and set that goal. Just like in anything in life, this is something you want to set a goal for. So if you are a consultant, set your date for manager, set your date for director, set your date for executive, set that next goal, make them small so they're achievable. And don't get discouraged by, okay, I wanted to be executive by December, but you're not even a manager yet. Be realistic, but also you want to set those big goals, because if you don't set the big goal with the small goals in the middle, you don't know that path to get there. And as Karen said, that is the path that we run on, and that's the path to excel and exceed. And if you want to follow Jess's path, that's what she did. She told me one day, write down what you want to be on what date, and I have it written down on a calendar in permanent ink, which I didn't realize it was a Sharpie, but it said I wanted to be 3-star by March. It said I wanted to be, or whatever date, but it's on there. And one of the goals I have not reached, I missed the date, but I'm still working towards that goal because that's still my next goal, and I will get there.
Yeah, I want to add something quickly too, and to follow up with what Elaine and Karen just said, and I just love this, Karen. I love it, and absolutely about the goal setting. And if you guys want to reach these goals, then what Karen is just explaining how to do is honestly what you have to do to then make that switch from only talking about the product. We will all always talk about the product. We will, and we will always help people with the product. But one thing I learned from Jessica a long time ago was, if you want to have a business, meaning grow a team, you have to also talk about the business. And what Karen is teaching us to do is to help make that shift, to find how we can help people with the product, but also the teacher to stay home, or whoever the person is. If we don't ever talk about the opportunity side of this, it is a lot harder to reach the goals of manager and director, because we will only find the product person who may or may not share this. And we all have those, and we all want those, and we all want to change everyone's health. We do. But in addition to those people, we have to find the people that see what we see, that see the vision of what this opportunity is, and also see the vision of the personal development this has given all of us, the chance to be leaders, to help change other people's lives with income, not just changing their health. We're going to change all their health. But we want to change the people's health who also see a vision for what this can be. And those are the people that we have to speak to reach these goals. And if we can't step out of our comfort zone to speak a little bit, to start to make that shift and speak about the income too, it's a lot harder to reach those goals. So Karen is giving us the tools to make that shift. And it makes it so much easier, because everyone's saying, how do you even start talking about the money of the opportunity of this? That's what she just handed us. And if you download the sheet that we posted on our IsaBHealthE Executive page and just read those and practice those. I think she said that. Practice, practice, practice. It'll just come right off your tongue. It'll just roll right off. But you've got to say it a couple of times and be a little uncomfortable, and then it'll start reeling off with practice. So I'm really excited about this. I hope you guys all really take her tools back and make that shift, because once we do, this team, we have the team. Everyone's here. We will explode.
I have one more thing. I encourage you all to step up as a leader. Each one of you is a leader on this team. If you've enrolled one person, no people, 10 people, or 100 people, you're a leader. You are the leader of that person, of those 10 people. become empowered. Understand that Kim, Karen, Jill, me, Suzanne, like there are some of us that are stepping up as leaders, but we want to see you step up as a leader. We want to see you take the information back to your person or your people and share this and empower them to do the same. So the greatest thing about this whole thing to me is coming from corporate America, where I may have managed a team of 5 people to 100 people, depending on where I was in corporate America. That empowerment it wasn't the same. People didn't say, okay, you're the manager. Can I go be a manager? No, you're not. Like, that doesn't work in corporate America. But this network marketing, this world that we're in is so awesome of empowering and supporting everybody to become the leader that they want to be. So go for it. Step up. You all are amazing. You all have backgrounds in something, and use your experience and go for it.
Love it. And don't forget our selfie challenge. We're just having fun. And I love that people are doing it. We're just having fun. And it's helping you step out of your comfort zone to make that shift by first just being a goof and taking a picture with somebody. And if you have Isa in your hand, they might say, what is that? And then you never know who you just met by being silly, taking a little selfie at Target or wherever you are. Just have fun. I love that people are doing it. So fun.
All right, everybody smile real quick. I'm taking a picture. Really, get in there. Got it. All right. Love you guys. Have an awesome day.
Thank you. That was awesome.
And we will chat soon. See you online.
Bye, guys.
Have a good day.
Bye.
Bye, guys.
Thank you.